Hi everyone! Today we are going to be printing our last group of uppercase letters. These uppercase letters have something in common. All of these letters have diagonal lines, that is, lines that look like a slide at the playground. So instead of going vertical, straight up and down, or horizontal, straight across, many of these letters, all of these letters have at least one line that is a diagonal line, just like a slide. Let's get started. We will begin with uppercase A. Now, since we're doing uppercase letters, all of them will begin on the top line, and none of them will go under the bottom line. So, uppercase A, start at the top. I've made a dot so you can see. We're going to slide back to the ground, and the reason it's called a slide back is because it's a slide line, just like at the playground, and it's going backwards. That is not the way we read a book. Once you've done your slide back, go back to the top. This time, slide forward to the ground, lift, go to the dotted line, and forward. There's our uppercase A. Let's try one more. Go to the top, slide back, lift, back to the top, slide forward, lift, and go to the dotted line, forward. One more uppercase A. Go to the top, slide back, remember to touch the ground, lift, back to the top, slide forward, lift, go to the dotted line, forward. And there's uppercase A. The next letter we will try is uppercase K. To make an uppercase K, once again start at the top. This time, begin by going straight down to the ground. Lift. Now, out to the top. That is, you're not going to the same place you originally started from. You're actually moving over slightly. Just like when we did lowercase k, we went out to the middle. But this time we're going out to the top. Slide back. Notice I'm going to the dotted line. I'm going to keep my pen down on that spot and slide forward. 2 finger spaces. Go to the top, straight down to the ground, lift, out to the top, slide back. Remember to make sure you end up on the dotted line. Now slide forward. It's very important that when you finish one slide in the lowercase k and transition to the next slide, the place where those 2 slide lines meet should be right on the dotted line in the middle. Let's try one more. Go to the top, straight down to the ground, lift, out to the top, slide back, and slide forward. There's uppercase K. Next, let's give uppercase M a try. To make an uppercase M, start at the top. Go straight down to the ground. Lift, back to the top, right in the same position you started from. Now you're going to slide forward, bounce up, and go straight down to the ground. There's 2 slide lines in an uppercase M. 2 finger spaces. Go to the top, straight down to the ground, lift, back to the top, slide forward, down to the ground, bounce up, and straight down to the ground. 2 finger spaces. Start at the top, straight down to the ground, lift, back to the top, slide forward, bounce up, straight down to the ground. The next letter we try will be uppercase N. Very similar to the M, just a bit different. Uppercase N. Start at the top, straight down to the ground, lift, back to the top, right where you started, slide forward, Now this time, when you bounce up, instead of bouncing up and making it a slide line, you're going to bounce straight up. Ready? Bounce straight up. It's different than the M. When we bounced up doing the letter M, we bounced up on an angle. But with the N, we bounce straight up. 2 finger spaces, let's try it again. Start at the top, straight down to the ground, lift, back to the top, slide forward, bounce straight up. 2 finger spaces, go to the top, straight down to the ground, lift, back to the top, slide forward, bounce straight up. There's uppercase N. Next, we'll try uppercase Q. Uppercase Q looks like an uppercase O. It just has one extra slide line added to it. Start near the top, just underneath the top line, in the same place you began uppercase O and uppercase C. Backwards rainbow, curve all the way around, close it, lift. Now, time to make the slide line. Go into your Q. Don't go all the way up to the dotted line. You need to be somewhere between the dotted line and the bottom line. Probably somewhere right about there. Then, go slide forward. Just like that. Don't let the slide line go underneath the bottom. 2 finger spaces. Start below the top line, backwards rainbow, curve all the way around, close it, lift. Go inside the letter, slide forward. 2 finger spaces. Start below the top line, backwards rainbow, curve all the way around, close it, lift. Go inside the letter, slide forward. Make sure your slide line isn't too long. Like I said, you don't want to go to the dotted line. You're somewhere in the middle. Next, let's try uppercase R. Uppercase R is just like uppercase P, except for the addition of one slide line. Start at the top, straight down to the ground, lift, back to the top, sideways rainbow. Now instead of finishing here, we're going to slide forwards. Just like that. Notice that the slide line begins where the dotted line is. 2 finger spaces. Start at the top, straight down to the ground, lift, back to the top, sideways rainbow, and slide forwards. 2 finger spaces. Start at the top, straight down to the ground, lift, back to the top, sideways rainbow, and slide forwards. There we have uppercase R. We will move on to uppercase V next. Uppercase V has 2 slide lines, one going down, one bouncing up. Start at the top, slide forward. Now, bounce up. Don't bounce straight up. We're bouncing up on a slide. Just like lowercase v, the only difference is we're starting at the top instead of the dotted line. 2 finger spaces. Start at the top, slide forwards, bounce up. 2 finger spaces. Start at the top, slide forwards, and bounce up. Time to turn our uppercase V into an uppercase W. In fact, to make an uppercase W, you pretty much just have to repeat the V 2 times. Let's give it a go. Start at the top, slide forwards, bounce up. Now we're going to do it all over again. Slide forwards, bounce up. Notice that when you bounce up in a W, you're not bouncing straight up, you're bouncing up on an angle. 2 finger spaces. Start at the top, slide forwards, bounce up, slide forwards, bounce up. 2 finger spaces. Go to the top, slide forwards, bounce up, slide forwards, bounce up. It's nice. You don't even have to lift your pen when you do an uppercase W. Unlike the next letter, that is. Time for uppercase X. To make an uppercase X, we're going to be doing a slide backwards to begin. Go to the top, slide backwards, lift. Go back to the top, but we say out to the top because it's not exactly where we started from the last line. And this time we're going to slide forwards. 2 finger spaces, go to the top, slide backwards, lift, out to the top, slide forwards. Notice that where the 2 lines cross is exactly on the dotted line. 2 finger spaces, go to the top, slide back, lift, out to the top, slide forwards. There we have uppercase X. Time to try a tricky one. Let's do uppercase Y. To make an uppercase Y, go to the top. This time you will do a slide forward, but it won't be all the way down to the ground. In fact, your slide forward is only going to go from the top to the dotted line. Let's connect the dots. Slide forward, stop. Lift, out to the top. That's because we're not going back to where we started from. Now this time you're going to slide backwards, but don't go all the way to the ground. Slide backwards, stop. Hey, we made a V. There's still all of this space here before we get to the ground. Now put your pen exactly at the tip of the V. Go straight down to the ground. There's uppercase Y. 2 finger spaces, go to the top, slide forwards, lift. Make sure you don't go past the dotted line. Out to the top, slide back, and stop. Lift your pen. Now find where the 2 lines meet and go straight down to the ground. 2 finger spaces, go to the top, slide forwards, stop. Don't forget to lift. Out to the top, slide backwards, stop, lift. Now find where the 2 lines meet and go straight down to the ground. It's basically a V with a tail. One more letter to go in this group of letters that have slide lines. Uppercase Z, the last letter of the alphabet. To make an uppercase Z, go to the top, go forward, slide back, forward again. 2 finger spaces, go to the top, go forward, slide back, forward again. 2 finger spaces, go to the top, forward, slide back, forward again. It's just like the number 2, except instead of doing a forward rainbow on top, you're doing a forward line that is horizontal and flat. All right. Keep practicing. See you next time.